Welcome, heroes, to Total Party Gossip, a show where we recap all the adventures and shenanigans we have just been on, and the players get to ask the DM questions about their mishaps. So, guys, how'd you feel about Banthum?
That was big.
But
It's a huge city, and like so much effort went into creating not just the scope of it and the structure, but like the little details in each area of the city. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, the setting was pretty fun. I liked popping up and seeing just this massive storm raging in the background. That was unexpected. So awesome. Thank you. And just the way the city was built, with the tramways and the way that you described it, it definitely had a feel to it that was different than the one city that we had been exposed to previously in the campaign. So it was definitely I'm using that word a lot, change to what we're used to seeing before.
Definitely.
Big culture shock. West Bank itself is a pretty magic heavy town. And then you went to Macaire Abbey, which is farmland. And then you went to a hobgoblin fort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had a lot of experiences with like backwoods, like it's like hardly any magic-y stuff. And then all of a sudden there's this place and there was magical, I want to say androids. That's not right. Warforged everywhere. And the fact that there's like shops where they have skins hanging on walls that never occurred to me. That was so crazy. I got like the creepy feels thinking about it.
You bought a hoverboard.
Oh yeah, I bought a hoverboard. It's gonna be forever before I get it, and I'm probably gonna kill myself using it, but it'll be great.
All right, so Milo gave you the request. You went through the portal, and then coming down, you saw the big city and the Manticore. What were your thoughts when you found the Lumitech Order?
Yeah, what were your guys' thoughts? I was just saying before we recorded that we never did find out what was up with that Manticore because we immediately...
They were dicks. They were a bunch of dicks. I didn't like them.
We got off on the wrong foot. That's true. But there was dickishness on both sides a little bit.
Sure.
Mostly their side.
They called us Guildoes.
There was one guy that wasn't their leader that was
he got in trouble.
Hey, he got into trouble.
And he was the bait.
He spoiled the batch, that one.
Oh.
he was the rotten apple in the entire... We had to throw the whole thing out.
You know what they say?
No, what do they say?
Oh, yeah, what do they say?
Because I know what they say, but I wanted to know if you knew it.
I don't. I have no idea.
It's like Stenel just was being oblivious and friendly, but didn't really take the Guildoes thing badly, but it felt like Singer did.
Very much so, yeah.
And
no,
Jewel
that was not nice at all. But I mean, you got to imagine, like, he's only seen like people excited about him being in the guild and showing up to help out and stuff like that. So, the Macaire Abbey, when they arrived, they're like, "Oh, thank God the guild's here." And so Singer was like, "Yeah, no, we're here to set things right and be all good and stuff like that." And then these guys were like, "Oh, there's some Guildos." Like, no, screw those guys.
Yeah, and Stenel was just bouncing on the Manticore. Oh yeah, but not like in a malicious way. Not like in a I'm gonna ruin your monster way. Just sort of like, whoa, you guys bagged a big one, and then they were like, "What are you doing?" And Stenel was like, "Oh, I guess I shouldn't be here doing stuff."
So, out of curiosity, GM, was there more stuff to that Manticore? Or was that just kind of like a dropped hint or something like that, or were we supposed to be exploring that, or?
No, it was really only a way to introduce you to the Lumitech Order, maybe get some information if you wanted to, and just something to make the world seem more alive.
Well, the only information I got was they're a bunch of dicks.
And what was your takeaway from that interaction, Vanessa?
That you guys are a couple of idiots.
Ah, yeah.
No, I mean lovable idiots, but I was kind of wanting to learn more maybe make some inside friends. And I mean, I was on my way, but then just a couple things set it off, and it was like, okay, get the fuck out of here now. I was like, well, fuck, okay, goodbye.
Was that the interaction where Singer was basically like, hey, you've got words coming out of your mouth, you should fix that?
I think so. Yeah.
That was a lot of that was that was pretty cool for me.
We had no choice but to leave at that point.
Yeah.
But then we got to go towards the big city.
Yeah, you went down the hill and you got to the main gate where you had your first experience with an illusory billboard besides in the training dungeon, and your first real experience with the Warforged here.
Mhm.
Please let me see your bag.
Oh,
Singer Bjornsson.
Yeah, I'm a brother now.
I found it interesting that the Warforged required tieflings to have last names, because generally tieflings don't have last names, so they were being real dicks about it.
I don't know if tieflings follow any real... I think they just kind of do whatever.
Right, but I mean, there's not a reason in the world that everybody has to have a last name. Not everybody does. So
yeah, but it could be an oversight on the programming. It could have just been we didn't know how to bypass that. Maybe it's common knowledge to be like,
right.
My name is Singer, that's all. They'll be like, welcome, Singer, that's all. No, we don't know. But I thought that turned into an excellent opportunity to do a little character development. Have Stenel be like, "Oh, you need a last name to get in here? Take mine. We'll be brothers."
Definitely.
Yeah,
brother
that was
lovers.
really- brother. No, just the brother part.
That last part was a bit of a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
That comes later.
Yeah, no, that was very, very heartfelt and warming to Singer. So that was really sweet. Got a little tear in his eye.
You got through the gate and you saw the riffraff. You saw the three hills with the sprawling city, and then you saw the Nimbus flying train.
Yep. None of this was new to Jewel because she's been here before. So it was mostly just about kind of introducing your friends to a new place that you really like.
So yeah, so what was Jules' homecoming? What was the feel behind that?
Honestly, it's been a while since Jewel was there, and the last time she was there, it was, she was a rock star. So it was a little, it's kind of that feeling when you go to a place you grew up and you keep expecting to run into people but you don't really. And that's really the feeling that she had, where it was just like, is somebody going to recognize me? But do I want them to recognize me? Kind of conflicting feelings about that.
And it's always super weird when you recognize somebody and they don't recognize you.
Yeah.
Oh, Terry, how's it been? Oh, who are you again? I don't know who you are. Terry, we went to school for 10 years together. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah. You?
Or that fake. Oh yeah, I remember you, and you have no idea.
From that class. What about Singer? I think Singer's first introduction to the city, wasn't it very much like, why would you put all the dirty stuff at the entrance to make your first impression? Why not put the nice part of the city?
Yeah, that was Singer doesn't like cities in the first place. The fact that he lives in one is still not something that he's wholly comfortable with. And then to show up, and the way you were describing it with all the riffraff and stuff like that, I'm like, this is terrible. Why would you do this? That makes no sense to me. So still doesn't get it. Just still doesn't understand how cities operate or work or why they're important to
That's just how
to people.
cities operate.
Right? Yeah. So
God,
although I
Singer.
thought the farther we got away from all the riffraff, the more nicer the city was. That was for sure.
Where did you guys head after the initial?
We looked around the city a bit. I know we went to Mega Confectioner.
Oh,
Yes.
They just had really cool candy that we grabbed there.
We bought a bunch of clothes.
Yep. I spent 60 gold on clothes for all of us.
I absolutely love the idea of the clothes having like glowing highlights and neon colors and stuff like that, just like woven in via magic. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, like they're really classy and fashionable, but also got just like the highlights, the glow to them. Yeah,
Neo-Victorian Tokyo.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
80s Gothic.
Especially when you started describing that, I'm like, I want some of that, like permanently for the rest of the campaign. That's
I know I added a bunch of stuff to our to Jewel von Onyx's Pinterest page on the Total Party Guild Pinterest.
I was looking at that. Some of that stuff is pretty fashionable and dangerous.
Yes, along with my boot collection.
Oh yeah,
good thing you have a portable hole. It's just a portable closet now.
Pop it down, and it's just super organized. All the boots are arranged by color.
You could get closet furniture made and just shove it in there. So when you open it, you have it.
And I could get some kind of I need upgrades to my star slate, but I could make it basically like the opening scene of Clueless, where they're trying to figure out what to wear, and they can just go through all their clothes. So you can just I'm gonna have somebody build an app for my star slate that is just categorizing my or organizing all of my fashion, and then just have it set up in the portable hole.
Boy, that is some forward thinking stuff right there.
Where did we get the portable hole? Wasn't it here?
Yes,
it was. In the theater.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So after Steno got a job offer at Mega from buff shirtless dudes serving candy. Flex.
That was great.
You did notice that Jewel's arrival was on the billboard of Prominence Theater.
Look. Let's be clear. Jewel does not consider Allure a rival. She barely considers her. This whole rivalry thing is all on Allure.
She's not even on your radar.
No, we went to school together. She was kind of a dick, but I don't really consider her like a threat, even though I haven't been on the market for a year or so. It's just like, cool.
So seeing her on the billboard, so like that didn't even like phase you as a person, like not because I mean you're no longer performing, you're no longer doing that kind of a thing. That doesn't like affect you on the inside a little bit?
No, I mean, do the Foo Fighters get mad when Jack White performs at a theater? Like, you can't perform at all of the theaters. And if I was going to be performing and I wanted to perform there, I could do it in a heartbeat. So it's not like you hate all other musicians. You just, sometimes there's riffs and stuff, but I don't think that just because she's performing at a place where I have performed, I don't own that place. I've just performed there.
That's a real reasonable way to look at that.
Jules kind of laid back like that, I think.
Was it Dirk or Hansel that came out? I think it was Dirk, right?
It was Hansel.
Hansel.
He's so hot right now.
So just to give you some insight, I was playing Overwatch and I plugged our podcast and somebody said, hey, when I play D&D, I always introduce these characters named Dirk and Hansel. Can you find a way to introduce them somehow? I was like, yeah, I can use those names somewhere. So if you're listening, random Overwatch player that asked me to use Dirk and Hansel, I did.
Well done.
That's
you're
really
a shill
cool.
for some random person on Overwatch now.
It's the marketplace of ideas.
The other thing that you didn't notice is that they are based very loosely on some famous magicians.
Oh, are they Penn and Teller?
I refuse to acknowledge those names in fear of copyright infringement.
Oh, yeah. But we can still say the names Penn and Teller, even though they are not directly linked to any of our intellectual properties.
Right.
Yeah, there we go.
So two random magicians. I did not catch that, by the way, at all.
A 5'2" human, blonde horseshoe hair, bulbous nose, sharply dressed.
Could be anybody.
And you didn't meet Dirk
Right.
till later, just because I didn't have a
Blonde
chance.
hair. Yeah, no, that's not how I imagined it. Missed that part.
Oh, that's really cool though.
But he found you in
yeah.
the street and very quick talking, but brought you in on a job. And you met Dimble.
Who could not make it to our total party gossip.
Yeah. Dimple was great.
Yeah, he was like the anti-Jewel.
Disheveled. Lives in a closet.
Lives in a closet.
I
True
mean,
fact.
he does. That's what he said.
That was literally his thing. Like, yeah, he just needs enough space for his little makeshift workstation. He was also very awkward.
Yes.
So that very much like rounded out our team.
Yeah, he fit right in.
It's just you're just
So how did you feel about the live murder mystery?
Man, that was tough. That was so background a little bit. When we were setting it up and the destructions, the instructions that we got was to like not interrupt the performance, but be on the lookout for like a bad guy doing baddie things.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't want to interrupt what was going on. We didn't want to get in the way. We didn't want to like step on anybody's toes. I was just going to hang out and wait for the show to be over. And both as a character, I didn't want to get in the way of things. And as a player, I thought that the shit was going to happen like after the play was over and done with, and we're going to like just find the bodies and have to go on this mystery hunt kind of a thing. It took some real prompting for us to actually do anything during those scenes, which must have been frustrating for you.
I mean, you know how it is. You set something up and the players just don't notice anything about it.
Okay. Background. I'm going to spill some beans. So Allure was like, "Oh, look for my shoes." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I was like secretly to myself, "I'm not doing that." And then we took a break and I get a check for the shoes. And I was like, "Well,
that's
fuck."
Right.
I was hounding it, and I was like, fuck, they're really just going to stand there the whole time. I don't know what to do if they just stand there the whole time.
Just blow everything up.
It's a standoff of us trying to wait for you to do something and you waiting for us to find something.
No, I remember that distinctly, where you were like, yeah, absolutely, we'll track down your shoes. You're like, I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah. I remember that conversation, and I wasn't gonna look because you said to watch the back door, so I was gonna watch the back door like a hawk. And I have no idea what I'm looking for because I've never been in one of these things. So I have no idea, like the random people. I would have let anybody in.
Right, because they were all going to be dressed like you. How do you know who's who?
Exactly. Like, yeah, he seems legit. He could have been walking in with the explosives, and I would have been like, that's a stage prop. It's fine.
And for the record, Stenel was helping. Was absolutely helping, but he was looking for red pumps. So he didn't know they were shoes, and he didn't know where you would put pumps at a show like this.
What does Stenel think a pump is?
Like bellows, like you'd pump up like a fire.
Like on a ship, when you're trying to get water out of the ship.
Yeah, like a water pump on a ship. Like a big lever that goes up and down. You make it red. I don't know. Like 2 pumps. She needed 2 pumps. Maybe she's on a ship during the concert. She's on a ship and she's got to work the red pumps because music. I don't know.
That's how they get the wind effects on stage.
Out there singing and
it has nothing to do with the magic.
Yeah.
No. We need the red pumps.
So
they just have 6 halflings working giant bellows like Oompa Loompas.
To be fair, GM, if we would have failed that and everyone would have died, I would have been like, "Yep, that makes sense." Because I think we bumbled that one so bad. And then when we ran across the actual mystery like poem, which I don't remember how we found the mystery poem, but I remember running across the mystery poem and being like, I have no idea what this means.
Same. So the mystery poem started with my little out of game prompting to search for the shoes, I think.
Okay.
And we found it was just in like a book or something.
No, the first one was in her bag with flowers from Perth.
The weird flowers that are like
I think they're Siren's Breath.
That sounds right. But Siren's Breath, they grow near Mirage College, but they don't survive very long after they've been picked, like poppies kind of. So it was weird to see them.
And they die in the cold.
And I have a note here that says, LOL, WTF, how would I know?
I think that sums up what we were all feeling.
Let me see if I can find that.
I have it. It's I Spy Drowning in Renown, Devilish Grin with a Flowery Crown. That was the first one. And then
Hatred,
we found
death, sickness and health, plans on a shelf, poison and stealth was the next one, which by the way, I really like that you made those poems, but damn dude. I'm personally just not that clever.
So you guys get the first one though, right? Okay. So it's I Spy, Drowning in Renown, so somebody rich, a devilish grin, a tiefling with a flowery crown, and everybody that had a note had a glowing flower somewhere on their head.
Yeah, we figured that out eventually.
The one tiefling that I dragged backstage had no idea what was going on. But the next tiefling that I pilfered was literally in on it, and I could have, had I tried bringing her backstage too, like that could have gone very differently.
We don't know that she was in on it.
Dimple popped her head.
She was in on it.
I mean, just because we killed somebody doesn't mean that they were a bad guy.
Can you clarify that, Jeremy?
She was a sad story I wanted you guys to talk to. She was in love with him and they were living together, but he was so obsessed with this and she was too timid to really do anything to step in and stop it. So she just kind of went along with it, hoping he'd come to his senses.
So she was in on it.
Oh.
That would have been a really nice story had we figured it out.
And not melted her brain.
Yeah. And Matthew's not here to defend himself.
Look,
Pretty
you know
sure.
who we are. You know who we are. You can't put these nuanced things in there and expect us to pick them up.
Yeah, also, Dimble, I think, is scarred for life from that one act right there.
Yeah.
He brought it up a number of times after that.
Yeah, he was very much like, I want to hit her, but maybe not kill her. And it's like, roll damage. It's like, oh, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
That's a lot of acid damage.
You burned her brain down.
Oh,
melted her face off.
She was a level 1 sorcerer.
Yeah.
The next clues led you to a book that was Songs from Perth.
Plans on a Shelf.
And what was that last one?
Her allure is deadly?
Yeah. Hung on a wire, a bitter cord struck on a lyre. Watching you scamper like mice is delightful.
So
I was hoping you'd find this before the intermission.
We were too absorbed in
because it kind of, a bitter chord struck in the lyre. I was hoping that would be like, oh, something, an instrument's trapped.
Yeah, no, we didn't go anywhere with that.
Yep, that didn't connect.
It's fine. Yeah. You only lost one member power chord.
And I feel really bad about that.
Yeah,
because it was the member that I probably would have liked and not the main singer.
Well, Allure isn't part of power chord. They're just doing
the house band.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I liked all them guys.
Power cord exploded. Shit went down. Dimble melted a brain. And then you had the fight as you saw the assassin hanging from a cord trying to get a shot.
Hypnotic pattern.
Frickin' ruined the whole thing.
Cast hypnotic pattern, yeah.
I can't believe I gave you that loot later. Hypnotic pattern made that whole thing. Well, I shouldn't say it ruined it because more stuff happened.
Yeah.
But it was going to be like an epic Zoro duel as as Stennel and Singer vie for position, as the rogue does rogue things. But nope, he just took a nap.
Yeah, by the time we got up there, we were like,
Now-
he's out.
If I remember, he was invisible at first, and I blew up a whole part of the stage to get him to drop down and slow down a little bit, and that was a lot of fun.
Well, so you guys had tied him up and brought him down
Oh yeah,
and started to question him. And then he used Misty Step to teleport back to the middle rafters.
Yeah, and then you were
And then he used invisibility and tried
right. And
dashing
then
away.
I blew him off the shelf. That's right.
your shatter does extra damage to inanimate objects.
They roll at disadvantage for a save. So yeah, it was really cool,
Yeah.
and I liked that part. That part was pretty badass.
I can't see him, so I'm going to hit
Yeah.
everything.
yeah, and it worked.
Yeah. And then he ran after Jewel because Jewel was the closest thing.
Oh, and Dimble like covered him in marshmallow.
Oh, yeah. His jet puff
That will
grenade.
never ever come out ever. And then Jewel, you got stabbed a bunch.
Yeah, I keep getting stabbed like right in the gut. Like that is my go-to stabbing place for people.
Mm. It's a good place to stab.
Yeah,
like-
but with like your health care and stuff like that, the scars, they come right out.
Yeah,
Yeah, is it better the gut than the face?
I guess. I don't know.
That being an ex-performer, do you care about your face, your hand?
Oh, not the face.
Jewel is going to
That's
be
my meal
upgrading
ticket.
her armor for the next story arc. So yeah.
Just a bare midriff from now on.
An invitation.
I was going to say, instead of
Yeah,
a chest
just
plate,
that.
it's just going to be a tummy plate.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ribs are fine. But yeah, get something across the abdomen there.
Hey, there's only so many places you can be stabbed. And that is center mass. Yeah. Where'd you go from there?
I think
You
I think we
finally,
finally went to the guild after that.
Well, we killed him. No, hold on. We killed the guy. We took his portable hole. We left his armor.
True.
That was really good armor. And
was okay
it was
armor.
better than what I have. We met Dirk, the tall, black, ponytail, chunky, muscle gut guy. And
Is that on your notes?
that is on my notes. Tall, black ponytail, chunky, muscle gut.
Nice.
We went through and we found all the creepy shit that he had in his portable hole, including a creepy clown costume, a jester costume, dental gear,
Dental equipment.
dental equipment, a cheap engagement ring, an accordion, a
What
hurdy-gurdy.
was the thought process on that, GM? Like,
Why
was
did he
just
have
using it
dental
for junk
equipment?
storage?
Oh, all this creepy stuff? Well, some of it were costumes and leftovers from his time at the Bardic College. The cheap engagement ring was something he proposed to Allure with, and she laughed it off. The dental equipment was bought just for Allure.
Oh,
Wow. All right.
He was a very messed up individual.
that's dark.
Glad we killed him.
Yee.
And we got some daggers. And then they asked us to do an interview to help promote their stuff.
Which we absolutely did not do.
Allure did, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they wrote it in like
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
there
yeah.
anyway.
And then we went to the guild shop, and I wanted to find a better hotel, but then we ended up just staying at the guild, I think.
When you are tired, a bed is a bed.
I guess. And we met Rune,
Oh, yeah, Rooney.
who is a Circle of Luminescence druid. Is that what it's called? Bioluminescence.
Yeah, Circle Bioluminescence. So, Circle, did we release that? Is that on
We
Twitter?
released,
Is that
yeah,
out in
we
the
have it
world?
on our blog, and we released it on like Reddit and Twitter and Pinterest.
Yeah, so the Circle of Bioluminescence is a druid Vanessa and I wrote up that focuses on the predatory aspects of like deep sea glowing fish, kind of the hunt and wait. Or trapdoor spiders, or yeah. So the Circle of Bioluminescence druid is something Vanessa and I came up with, really going on the ambush predator, like anglerfish or trapdoor spider kind of thing.
Yeah. I definitely wanted it to be kind of along the lines of the UA at the time, which was the Circle of Stars, I think, is kind of what we used as a template for how OP or non-OP the abilities would be. So it was nice to kind of see that sprinkled into the campaign, even though we didn't really get to explore it as like a character or anything.
Yeah, and I think even as we wrote it, it's probably still too strong.
Yeah, it's kind of strong. I'd play it.
We'll see with play testing.
After that,
so how did you guys?
No, go ahead.
How did you guys execute that in Banthum? How did you guys put that on display?
When the weird inky black glowing fish monster walked down the stairs in
the guild hall.
Yeah, in Banthum Guild Hall.
The leader of the Banthum Guild was a Circle of Bioluminescence druid. And when Saxton yelled for her, it sounded urgent and it was the middle of the night. So she went into her wild shape form, which is the like creepy fish form. And I said something during it, but I ended up cutting it out because I didn't want to like super meta game. So I just said, "Oh my God, you're a druid" or something like that, but I cut it out. But she was just a creepy druid. The creep druid.
That was Runadette.
Mm-hmm.
I also Jeremy said it's based on like the anglerfish and the trapdoor spider, and I also kind of wanted it to be based on also like a mix of the original Siren stories of like how they would lure predators but also be like super creepy, but you could see them in different ways. Kind of mermaids are kind of like a thing of nature, and you know, even though they're mythological, but they're also like these crazy hunter killers that will fuck you up.
Yeah, let's not. I mean, yeah, like Ariel and all that stuff, sure,
right.
But you know, let's not forget that they lured sailors to their deaths by crashing their ships and then ate them sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
D&D actually makes a distinction between those. The one's a siren, one's a mermaid.
Right. But I mean the overall, like that's where that's what inspired me to start the Circle of Bioluminescence, and we kind of went from there with the more piranha, or not piranha, but the what are those guys called? Anglerfish, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I thought it was very effective.
After we met her, we found out that there's a couple other like story arcs, or not story arcs, but story hooks, to send us around and explore the city a bit.
Oh, yeah. Singer, you should go down by the wharf. I've seen that symbol down there.
Yeah. You might find your people.
Yep. So we went and we found my people. And it was weird.
It was amazing.
Glorious.
It was not what I expected at all.
Can I just say,
not one bit,
that Stennel at the temple was one of the best highlights of, if not this story arc, the entire series. Just like singing along with them. Hilarious. I like listening to that when I was doing the QA editing stuff. I just couldn't stop laughing. It was hilarious.
I did not know what to expect. And we show up and there's all those guys just like hanging out on the roof and stuff like that. Like
in loincloths.
Kudos.
Yeah.
Kudos, sir.
Naked dancing.
Yeah.
So they were something I had planned since Singer told me his character.
Oh, lovely.
I was like, he's coming from a wacky mountain cult. Huh.
It's not a wacky mountain cult. I mean,
It's
it might be,
pretty wacky.
but I don't view it that way.
Well, this seemed like a whole group of, you know, wacky cult people, and they were, you know, just like my dear friend.
No, they had everything wrong.
Oh, but they were so enthusiastic about it.
They were enthusiastically
It's about
wrong.
the intent. And the intent was song and glory to Zelia.
Had to straighten that shit out.
In my notes
That's
at this point, I said, "What is even happening?"
Is that Jules' diary?
Jewel was very uncomfortable. Like the second we went in there, I was like, "Nope, let's get the fuck out of here. This is creepy as hell." I've been in a cult or two.
Have you?
I don't know.
This is news to me.
Or two.
Been invited. I've taste some of the.
I wasn't a member, but I went to some cult parties.
Oh,
Cult adjacent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably showed you all the fancy stuff, and then at the end they're like, "So you want to sign up? Huh?
Nope.
You want to sign up?"
oh. So that reminds me. In Konosuba, there is one town where everybody is in this cult, and they try and scam you into signing up for the cult.
Like all cults.
So, yeah. So, like, there's a man selling charms or something, and he's like, I can give you a discount if you sign this paper. And the paper's the cult paperwork. Or there's a little girl that trips in the street, and then she's like, oh, thank you, mister, after they help her. And she's like, what's your name? Oh, can you show me how you spell that? And she gets out the paper, and it's the cult paperwork. So the whole town's trying to scam them into joining a cult. So that's how Zelia is.
Is she?
No. Zelia doesn't care. Zelia is a force of nature.
Okay.
Her followers, though.
Her followers are crazy.
Well, some of them.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least.
I wouldn't necessarily put Singer as in the sane category either. I mean, just saying.
Well, you are. It's like Singer is constantly to everyone. Like, hey, have you heard the good word
Do you wanna
about
sign this
the
paper?
lady in the sky? Yeah, literally to everybody. Like even the dead. He's like, well, you're going to Zelia now. I don't know who you worshipped in life, but enjoy being zapped in
Hey,
death.
I'm just glad I was there to help them usher their souls to the proper place upon their death.
You're literally that town in one person.
Right.
This is what you get, and you'll be happy with it.
So after we went to the cult, we tried some fried squid, and we went to Lumitech.
Lovely.
Oh,
That place is
yeah.
cool.
And we got to see a very nice sampling of some of the high-tech magic items that Lumitech puts out, because the story behind them, Jeremy, now you talk, because you know the story behind Lumitech.
So I don't know if I want to spoil it though.
I mean, just give like an overview of what the world would know about Lumitech. You don't have to give any like deep spoilers, but just like, they produce tech.
What's the general knowledge?
Yeah.
What's on their Wikipedia page?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Lumitech is a empire, I guess, run by the king of Banthum's younger brother, who is obsessed with outer space and the stars.
Oh.
Lumitech has been given ample amount of funding due to being royal blood, so they kind of took over a lot of the city functions. So not only has their technology with like the Nimbus rail system and the hovering sidewalk thing you saw on the hill where you had to pay for a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
They've kind of, and all the billboards you see, that's all Lumitech. But they also have side projects that are kind of hush hush that Jewel would probably know about.
At least no rumors about. I mean, we saw some of their weird shit down in the dungeon. So the dungeon, the lab.
That they really want to explore the stars. Some people have said that the Lumitech owner is a nutcase. Some people say he's a genius or really eccentric in general, but they use all of this fancy tech to make the city better and make life better, but it's also like funding for other projects. Nobody really asks where all the Warforged come from.
I mean,
and a lot of people think that Lumitech has something to do with it.
Oh, with why there's so many Warforged in Banthum?
That's a very good point.
Are there a lot of Warforged in other cities at all?
There are some, but not as many.
They're rare.
Not even a quarter as many, yeah.
Huh.
So I wonder if, like, at the drop of a hat, like, Lumitech could just execute order, like, 72, and then all the Warforged are like, bzz,
Like an iRobot situation.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Get Will Smith in this.
Wall small.
And this is where Singer gets to buy the lover board.
Oh.
Easy.
And we learned that Jewel's record company is Gemstone Records.
Right.
For just background about Jewel and her. She's based on, not all based on, but a lot of I took a lot of aspects from a pop culture musician, and so there's a lot of like Easter eggs that I've planted myself in her backstory that are just like, oh, this name is kind of like this name, and that name is kind of like this name, and it's I don't know if that's legal, but I did it.
I don't know if it's legal, but too bad.
Legal adjacent.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the whole experience was pretty neat. Twice when we went to the campus where Lumitech was, it was described as being populated by nerds. Which as a descriptor given by the narrator, that really kind of flavors it. And as a nerd myself, I was both a little bit offended, and it was like,
I also kind of
it was
want to go there.
surprising how accurate the description was. Yeah, because those are my people.
In my notes, I
was
have
like, yeah, I can
nerds, Terry Crews flexing.
Terry Crews.
Wait, where was that?
Right before we got the hoverboard for Singer. I think Stenel was flexing like Terry Crews.
Stenel was flexing like all the time in Banthum, just like to everybody. I think that, and I don't remember when, but I'm pretty sure I had a conversation asking him about that, trying to figure out what the hell was going on with all this flexing.
He kept lowering his voice too.
Deep voice. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like it's the city, and the first real place we stopped in the city, we got closed, fine. But the second place was Mega,
yeah,
and like everyone was flexing, and Stenel had some guns, so he flexed too, and he got like some recognition for that, and that reinforcement. Like I think he thinks like cities are where you go to get jacked, and just pump iron. Actually, just rewinding very briefly, because I feel like this captures Stenel's like idea of the city. But at Mega, one of the things on display was an enormous like chocolate sculpture of like a wyvern.
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's to Stenel, that captures Banthum in a nutshell, because it's large, it's extremely intimidating. Overwhelming, sure,
you can eat it,
but it's also sweet on the inside. That's the city. But yeah, okay, back to the hoverboard.
And I got a hoverboard.
End of story.
So
yep. Oh, my dex is really low. It's gonna take a long time to figure that thing out. I can't wait. I'm super stoked about riding that thing into combat.
You can spend our next story arc where Sean is the DM. Singer can be spending that time trying to gain proficiency in hoverboard.
There's going to be a scene where he's just like zipping in the background, just like runs into a cart.
My cabbages.
I was thinking
what
that. Yes.
is the time limit between Banthum and the next arc? Do you have an idea?
Don't know. A couple months, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. How long until I get the hoverboard?
It's like 8 months.
It was like 6 weeks, I think, but we put it on, I used my medium tier customer access to get it like a week early or something.
Yeah, so like it'll definitely be available, and I'll be fucking around with it.
Oh, nice.
In the background while I'm running the next story.
Okay. So we got the hoverboard and we tested it out, and that was a fun episode. Yeah. And then we met Santa. We're like not even halfway through the my notes, at least. Yeah. So
you met Santa's Sageworthy.
He was really cool.
Why? What's up with the terrible tea? and the like stale cookies? Like he works at this massive like tech company. He can't afford good cookies.
That's corporate. Eat sugar.
Oh, he's keto.
I mean, sure, but it's for guests. Like you can at least make it good for guests.
I imagine Santa's. I picture him as like the reformed version of the bad guy from Ratatouille. It's like, I don't eat unless I love it.
I don't know. He doesn't strike me as a he just does no teas. The poor guy.
Or his secretary doesn't.
Well, somebody doesn't.
I mean, because
they need to get some tea education.
Yeah, the head honcho is not going to be the one making teas. His assistant would be making it, and she sucked at it.
Yeah, but
then we got
logic complaint.
But then we got hired by Lumitech.
I think we just got hired by him, not even like Lumitech. That felt more like a side deal.
Yeah.
Like go into this place and find this stuff, but also don't share this information with anybody. But
And then we'll give you a
like,
deal on what you came for.
Right. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was a side project.
Yeah. We also got star slates out of it, so
Oh, not complaining.
Yay, cell phones.
Yay, cell phones. Vanessa wanted one so bad, but I was like, Jewel wouldn't spend the money on it. But she really wants to have one. So having that presented to us was nice.
Why wouldn't Jewel spend the money on
because weren't they like 1,000 gold?
Yeah, there's something. I can't remember. I have it written down.
It was
somewhere.
because so
it was just expensive.
Yeah, Jewel doesn't have that much money. I mean, she has stuff that's paid for her, like her loft, her nice loft, and she had when she got out of the business, she had I don't want to say swindled. She had just
swindled. Yeah,
no, it's not swindled because that's what you do to somebody else. She had just spent all of her money. She'd wasted a lot of money on stuff, and so she's not cash heavy. She doesn't have a lot of liquidity, and she had enough that she had been sending to her folks that her folks are taking care of for forever, and then she had enough. She has like 1,000 gold, and that was it to her name, which is not a lot for like a super mega star. And a lot of the things that she has made available to her are on loan from, or they belong to the record label. And so she just doesn't have a lot of money. And so while she would love to have one of those, she just, that's not something she could, spend her all of her income on. That's all the money that she has kind of. I guess she probably has more because we've done some stuff to get like money, but it's not a lot. It's like standard what a regular adventure would have by now because she just was bad with her money. So having a cell phone drop in her lap was kind of cool.
Yeah. And then you got sent to the dungeon.
That was such a massive dungeon.
It's pretty.
That was huge.
It seems longer because it's kind of episodes, but it was a pretty big dungeon.
It was. Yeah. With all the assets you had on there, my computer's having problems. Just loading it up there and playing with it
through Astral.
Speaking of assets, so the legs that you guys were finding, I originally couldn't get a picture of just the apparatus leg to load in there. It kept graying out. So for like a long time, I just had a picture of a dude's leg. And it was only like maybe an hour before we actually started the dungeon, I got the actual one to work.
If we're just finding a bunch of human legs to stick on a metal barrel and crawl around in, I'd start asking if we were the bad guys.
Okay, anyway, so you find the warehouse, you go down the stairs, and there is a dead jellyfish.
Huge.
And the wind tunnel, was actually really smart because fighting in that jellyfish would have been a huge pain.
Yeah.
I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to get near it.
And we didn't want to go in the water to get around it.
Yeah, so like, nope, I'm just blew it right off there. So I'm glad that worked out.
I had rules written for being in the dead jellyfish. And I was hoping that the goopy abomination could grapple you and pull you in there, so you have to deal with that and the tendrils of the dead thing.
Gross.
That would have been so much worse. That fight was already tough.
I am now happy I did the thing I did.
Yeah, we had to make dex and wisdom saving throws during that fight.
Mm-hmm.
I took psychic damage.
Yeah, soul jelly, no joke.
You could have just let Stenel hack his way through the jellyfish until it was in small enough pieces we could scooch it into the water.
The jelly jungle.
Man, that would have been.
If we had 3 or 4 hours, yeah.
That was a fun fight. Was that robot the thing that was like one of the team members that we were?
That one was Clank.
I thought so.
The soul jelly ate and then spit out as that.
I thought that was really clever. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
So that was a fun creature to fight against.
With just a little bit of horror in there. Yeah.
I had been dropping hints for the Lumitech gear the whole time. And it's like, I want to use them against you just so you see what it's like.
Oh yeah, with the bike and the lance.
And when we originally met the guards at the beginning, some of them had them.
Mm-hmm.
Plus we released that as an item on all the social media.
Oh yeah, we did do that. It's on my desktop right here.
Oh man, and then it was just a sprawling maze of different rooms and
Kua-toa.
danger around every
Yeah,
corner.
you found the apparatus pretty early, and then you found
Mhm.
Clark.
I don't think that apparatus helped us.
No, I think it really hindered us in that last fight. It was cool to have,
Yeah.
but one, we ended up breaking it, and really all it did was protect Dimble from dying.
It tanked over 100 damage for the party.
Oh, did it?
Yes.
Well, there you go. That's something that Dimble couldn't have
Yeah,
done.
let's
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
let's not knock
That
it.
changes
too
that viewpoint. Oh man, I mean, I know we want to talk about the dungeon, and we went through the dungeon, and we did a bunch of cool stuff. But that final fight, that was like very ill conceived. We should have rested.
We'll get there. Clark.
We got through it. Spoilers.
Oh man, it was so close.
Spoilers.
So
Okay.
you found Clark and the mermaid test tubes.
Oh, the mermaids.
Oh yeah, those poor mermaids.
They were both dead, right?
Yeah, the Kua-toa had worked them
On that
to
one.
death.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah,
destroyed
they're not
them.
going to mer or maid.
I did look through my notes because I had to actually I added it to my notes because I was like, oh shit, we were supposed to kill everything or destroy everything. And then like when I was editing that episode, I was like, oh shit, we did kill those guys. Good. So I just amended my notes with extra. Like we did destroy those mermaids.
And then we did not tell the one we find eventually.
No, I think we said we'd look for them.
So what was Clark's role in all this?
Oh, so Clark was just the researcher sent down with the initial team to diagnose and fix any of the issues down there. When they got ambushed, they all got captured, and Clark was the only one that could understand the Kua-toa talking.
Mm.
And they picked up on that because, I mean, they're dumb, but they're not that dumb. So eventually they kind of got out of him that he is a researcher and he knows a little bit about the stuff down there. And they know that if they put dead things in the jelly, they come out kind of alive. So they wanted the free labor of the mermaids, but the dead mermaids weren't being reborn. So they're trying something else.
Interesting.
Let's just talk about Kua-toa for a second. Giant fish-headed creatures like that. Man, that's just creepy.
Mm-hmm.
There's no emotion except surprise.
Yeah, there's no emotion. They just stare at you with their eyeballs, and you can't tell. Like after you kill them, they're just lying there with their eyeballs. Like that kept getting into my head as a player. I kept thinking about that. I'm like, that's creepy. Like
that description was very, very effective.
yeah.
Joel was hungry for sushi afterwards, like just really jonesing.
I'm not sure I can eat any seafood for a while now because of those fights. Like I'm gonna have flashbacks.
Here I have in my notes, quote, avoid ambush, end quote. And then I have a battle notes for that we were immediately in a battle after that phrase was said.
Yeah, Singer, what happened with that? Avoid the pools.
I got confused as to what pools that we were talking about. So I was thinking when we said pools, I was thinking like, I don't know, like tanks full of water and not just like random pools of water. So yep, that's on me. That's on me totally not thinking things through all the way.
I was giving you a hard time.
Worked out pretty great.
Oh yeah, no, deservedly. That was totally screwed up.
Yeah, you only almost drowned and became
Yeah.
crab food.
Yeah.
Crab food.
Yeah.
And that's where we ran into the cage with the blue crab in it.
There are a bunch down there.
And after that encounter is where I got my fancy new instrument.
Yeah, explain this one.
I mean, hopefully you listened. I got a Macframede Cittern, which is a wondrous bard music instrument.
Yeah, but some of that was behind the scenes negotiating.
Yeah.
Because Jewel presented Stenel with like a new moonlight sword, longsword, to replace the old one that he lost fair and square by being an idiot and just raging.
Yeah, but
so it from my viewpoint of Stenel's character, like Stenel has a lot of growing up to do. And while rage is part of how he operates, like he lost himself there in that moment, kind of role playing out when he blew up that magical thing that should have been yours, and it literally dropped Stennel to 1 hit point.
Yeah.
That moment. And so he had a lot of time to think about that and feel guilty about it. And when you got him that sword, when Jewel presented him with that sword, it was like forgiveness, it was kind of like, hey, I forgive you for being an idiot. So I thought it would be really in character for that to stick with him a lot. So I was trying really hard to find a way to make it up to Jewel losing that magical instrument. And so I was looking for opportunities. And one of them was at the guild, where, Stennel was able to trade with
Saxton.
Oh, shoot. Who? Saxton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Saxton's. Just in chatting about his adventures. And, we had this poison dagger that honestly would not have sat well with Stennel since, it's poison's kind of underhanded and it was used to stab Jewel. And so bad memories and all that. But trading it for something that Jewel would genuinely be able to use, like that was kind of him just trying to make it up to her and, kind of putting the last pin in that whole sequence back in Macaire Abbey. So
yeah, it was super sweet. I just so when it originally happened, I literally remember you saying, "Do you want this?" And I was like, "Nah, go ahead." So I don't feel like the decision's all on Stennel because like Jewel didn't see it either. She's like, "No, you do what you want." So it's just I always feel bad that you feel guilty about it, but I don't feel that the two, because I keep forgetting what it's called, the Moonlight Sword. It's not as like. It's just a common magic item. Yeah, the Moon Touch Sword. It's just a common magic item, so it was easy to find a new one. So it just I don't feel like the two were comparable.
From a meta standpoint, you may be correct. But from Stennel's standpoint,
sentimental,
the two are very comparable.
Yes, from a sentimental, yeah, totally.
Well, also just Stennel doesn't understand
magic levels.
Magic stuff. Like this is magic, that's magic. They're the same.
Yeah. And I thought it would be useful for you to have, not just a shitty sword. You could have something with a little bit of magic in it, so you didn't it would be a hindrance to you not to have an item that you needed, or have that extra oomph behind your fighting. But I like it. It's very cool, and it's great for bards because we do a lot of charm stuff, and Jewel's magic spells are mostly surrounding using her charm to get what she wants. And so having a magic item that makes people at even more of a disadvantage against her for charm effects is just, it's icing on the cake.
You're just slathering charm on people like it's sunscreen.
Yep.
There's some regret there.
No takesies backsies. So after that, we found Hadrith and one of the missing levers and the mermaid.
Oh my gosh.
The flying
fun.
Kite mermaid.
So whose idea was it to cast Fly on the Mermaid?
We debated back and forth for a while, trying to figure out what spell we could use without putting us at a disadvantage to get her out of there since she couldn't walk.
Yeah, I think we threw out like levitate and a couple of other things. And then we finally was it Dimble that came up with Fly?
So
yeah, and that was the right choice. Although on hindsight, Fly only lasts 10 minutes, so...
Well, we stopped and got her out of there immediately.
Yeah, but we went from the bottom of the dungeon, up the dungeon stairs, all the way outside, all the way out to the water. Like, that's...
It wasn't that far.
That's a really... Oh, all right.
I was pretty sure in the moment...
We weren't super far into the dungeon. I mean, it was most of the dungeon, the time that was taking up in the dungeon was fighting stuff, and the path to the stairs and up was clear. And so that would really only take like a minute or two to get to the street. And so we were already on the pier, and because there's water coming in from everywhere. So getting her out to the cliff, it didn't take that long.
Okay. So we made it up 10 minutes. We're just running our asses off with the kite mermaid.
What's Jeremy's take on that process logistically?
I did not think that was what you were going to do. Also, I thought it was funny the whole time. You're like, oh, we found someone. We got to get this one person out.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But then you went back and you're like, oh, there's someone else. oh, there's someone else.
Yeah, I thought that was funny
Yeah.
too, that we kept just like, we're taking breaks. But then my thought was like, we're going to go into the next fight and this person's going to get killed. And I don't really want to spend the time to watch over this one person to save them. Perhaps in the future we might do that, like huddle in this room. But didn't we try to do that? Like, we'll come back and they freaked out.
You mean the one time you threatened
That's
to
true.
cut someone's hand
The
off?
mermaid.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a long time ago, and I have grown since then. I haven't threatened to cut anyone else's hand off because you guys threw such a fit.
Amazing.
You know, singer can learn. No, I thought the mermaid herself were like, let's go ahead and stay put, and she started freaking out a little bit.
Yeah, she didn't want to be left, but I think it was just kind of like, I don't remember exactly if I think we stayed with her and got her out immediately. The other two Lumitech people, we were like, we have to leave you. We can't bring you out right now. We'll come back for you. And they're like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, Zozel and Melissa.
Because we couldn't find the key. We couldn't get in.
Yeah, we couldn't find the key for them. But the scientist guy we brought out immediately as well and dropped him off with the
cult
Yeah,
church.
and
Church.
Hadrith, we
Cult.
just let
The
go.
church.
Like, he got himself out, I think.
But here's like, just to add a little extra layer to this, like, we lost so many people at McCare
Yeah,
Abbey.
we did.
Like,
Rescue him when you can.
we did not want to be responsible by our decisions to lose some more of these people. So every life that we found, we treated it like, a flickering match flame. We're like, okay, let's cup it. Nobody breathe. We'll walk them up to the surface. We'll get them,
Yeah, because we felt
we
really
didn't wanna lose
safe
anybody
at
else.
McCare Abbey when we went into the final battle.
I no longer feel safe anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after we rescued the mermaid and I gave her one of my expensive bangles,
And she gave you...
Dimble gives Stenel a magic tree.
Oh, yeah. A stink-reducing tree.
Yep.
A
A
what?
stink-reducing tree.
Gave you one of those
Oh, I remember
Oh,
that. Yeah.
car freshener.
Nice.
And then we had the ballista fight.
We're playing a new game. It's if you'd like to donate to my new charity, it's called Febreze the Halfling.
Ballistas are a pain in the
Yeah,
ass.
they are.
I really wanted it to be more effective, but it takes like 3 actions to get that shit to work.
Yeah.
And that's a
Yeah,
bummer.
I
you
didn't
either-
realize you needed a crew until that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, cool, this would be awesome. We're gonna use this awesome ballista, and like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna load it for the bad guys.
I actually, listening back through it, I made some mistakes there. There was just like in order that I mixed up with. So like there's one step that was already done somewhere and I don't remember exactly where it was, but I did mess up there.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't notice. I thought that was I went from chasing that one guy down the hall and being like, yeah, I'm going to take out this dude so that my buddies can, take out the other guys and everything's going to be fine, to, oh man, there's like 10 of the guys here. There's a whole bunch and now I'm running.
That was very
Well,
much...
especially because, go ahead.
there was very much like a Johnny Depp Pirates of the Caribbean moment.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
just running down the beach and there's just a hard following you.
Well, and you went the complete opposite direction of the rest of us in that fight. Like, all of us went to fight one thing and you went into the next room.
Yeah, well, I was, like I said, there was a ballista shooting at us, so I was going to go take out the ballista, and then I was going to fire it at the guys you were facing, and by the time I got to the ballista and took that guy out, you guys had moved beyond, like, the visual range.
Right.
So I couldn't even see you. I had no idea where you guys were, and then all these guys pop up out of the pool, and I'm like, oh, man, this is where Singer bites the dust.
Wind tunnel.
Wind tunnel.
That was fun. That thing, I like that spell. I really do. And it's one of the ones I start off with. And I'm like, when I first got it at character creation, I'm like, I can see some, but no, that's been really useful throughout the entire campaign.
Yeah.
Oh, I finally get to explain this. So you guys fought the first whip and you fought up the stairs. Singer ran down the other hallway, but then the trap triggered the acid stream.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that you'd catch on to his puzzled look because he thought that this was more soul jelly.
Oh.
But it was not more soul jelly.
Well, I caught on to his puzzled look that it wasn't what he expected to happen, but I didn't know what he thought was going to happen when he did it.
Yeah. They're like soul jelly out of more soul jelly out of this metal thing. Nope. nope, that's the wrong thing.
Oh, bad jelly. Angry jelly. Burning jelly.
Yes, fire jelly.
And then we found the bracer, the other metal leg, and we got a first glimpse at the baby badger ghost, Ikambokum.
Oh, Ikambokum.
Ikambokum. Yeah, that confused the heck out of me as a player. And Stenel had no idea what was going on. That was some like existential stuff.
Yeah.
I love it. So going into this, I was like, there's going to be an effigy or a figment or whatever of whoever is doing the most bloodshed, probably.
Was that really Stenel?
You were getting beat on and taking no damage because of Bear Totem.
Okay. So just Stenel the Resilient.
You kept like getting hung on by like 6 guys and you're just like tanking all the hits.
Yeah.
I got worried for myself a number of times. I was like, okay, I'm doing fine. Whoop, nope, all my health is gone.
Yeah. especially in the last fight.
Yeah.
Hey, barbarians, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we found the remaining Zazel and Vanessa. Well, we had found them, but then we finally got them free and got them out.
We shepherded them out too, or did we just tell them to go?
This is when you kind of split up and took a rest.
Yeah.
Because you found the last leg
and
you went to fix the apparatus. And then Jewel helped Zazel and Vanessa out.
Right. And I wasted my cure wounds.
I keep telling you guys that exhaustion isn't damage. But
But you don't that they're suffering exhaustion. You just know that they're unconscious.
Right.
I just want to restore hit points.
Easter egg time. Jewel, you get a letter.
Jewel gets a letter.
I'm sad we couldn't get that dinner. Next time you're in town, we'll make you a home-cooked meal. Vanessa has moved from the field to engineering and pushed me to move to something safer, so I'm city guard now. She's expecting and thinks it's a boy. If so, we'll name him Onyx. Zazel.
Oh, I'm gonna have a baby named after me.
Oh my.
Oh my. I will send them stuff. For sure.
This is cool. I didn't know we were going to do some little bit of light role playing.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Jewel will definitely send them like a nice record player and maybe like 1 or 2 of her own albums, but like definitely some cool like nursery album type stuff. And I don't know. I have to think about it because that was sprung on me, but that's really cool. Where did I write that?
You saved their life. They fell in love, and now they're doing a family thing.
Now they're gonna have a baby.
Hey, we're big damn heroes.
Big damned heroes. And we were. And because of us wanting to be big damned heroes, we didn't take a long rest because there was the possibility of somebody else out there that we needed to save.
Okay. Well, let's have this discussion because when we got the mission, Jewel was like, okay, well, it's like late. It was late at night. So let's just, it wasn't late at night, but it was like evening. And so Jewel was like, well, let's go. And then first thing in the morning, we'll head out. And Singer was like, no, people's lives are on the lines. We have to do this. We have to go now. Right. And I was like, okay. I mean, we're all rested and stuff. Let's do it. And so
and we were on board. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then when it came to, you know, we know for sure there's still 2 people missing that ended up being dead. It was like, we can't just take 8 hours right now. We still have to use what we have to get those people that might need help. Like we can't just leave them now. We didn't, you know, everybody that we've met has been on the brink of dying. So it was definitely going off of Singer's earlier like enthusiasm, but also Jewel's like inner, like we have to rescue the people that need help drive.
And I agree with you, but by that point in time, he was plumb tuckered out and out of spells and like running out of juice. And like, if we push ourselves too much, we're going to die trying to rescue these guys. So that was more of the, I didn't want to see my brother and my sister of battle die while we save, 2 yahoos who shouldn't have been here in the first place.
Sure.
I will say you guys made the right choice, because if you would have taken a long rest or left the dungeon, all of the corpses would have become jelly grunts.
Oh.
We just had to fight our way through them again.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Honestly, like going into that, I know that we were super low on spells, but there was a little bit of rage left in your Badger companion. And Dimple had a tank. And so I felt pretty good about our prospects.
Well, and we discovered our cantrips at level 5 that we actually have cantrips that we can use that work. So we started using cantrips and blunt force.
And we barely made it work.
But we won.
Yeah. So you went into the final battle with the tank. You fought your way through the grunts. And tell me your impression of that whole fight.
Oh, man. I was so worried the entire time.
There was a lot going on in that final battle.
I rolled really well on initiative and just charged straight in because I wanted to put as much damage on the main guys as possible.
Yeah.
And I didn't make it on my first run.
Nope.
I was very worried. And there was a point where I got sucked into the jelly, the soul jelly, and and I made a wisdom saving throw on myself. And if I rolled low enough, I was going to waste my spell on a shatter. And if I didn't, I was going to keep calm enough to try and get out of the jelly so that I could keep my spell points for healing if we needed it. Because that's really what the spells were. I had four spell points. And so it was enough to cast Healing Word twice. And so it was either I'm going to cast a shatter because I'm freaking the fuck out, or I'm going to be able to keep my cool. And I passed. But then I ended up not even needing the healing words. So
thank goodness.
Yeah, you fought your way up the stairs. You finally got to the priest and he was hurt.
Yeah.
And then he got sucked into the goop and they fused.
It became holy goop.
I thought that was really cool. I thought the goop was just going to eat him. And I'm like, yeah, he's dead. And then you started describing it. I'm like, son of a bitch.
After he had summoned the crab. And then when he was fused, he lost control of the crab.
Oh, the crab was his. I thought the crab was just like a natural phenomenon where the crab was like, hey, keep it down up here.
No, so he raised the water with, I think it was just control water. It lets you swell water up to so many feet.
Ugh.
It does some other things too, but I was like, the Kua-toa would like to swim. He summoned the crab with it as just like a Kua-toa pet.
Big and scary, pet. Put me back into some scary moments in Dark Souls 3. Just big crab claws coming at you.
Yeah, I was just really hoping that the crab came up because we were making too much noise. And so, like, if we get behind the guy, the crab would attack him. That's what I was hoping for. And I mean, that happened, but...
Yeah.
But that was
crab
more like,
did work for us.
Yeah, just kind of, we're lucky that happened that way.
We were very fortunate.
Yeah. And the no maracas.
No maraca. Dimple getting grabbed and shaken around.
Not stirred.
I will say the thing that really helped you make it through this fight were potions and Jules' temp HP.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I cast Mantle of Inspiration twice, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 6
across 4 people.
16 HP per person. It was a lot.
That added up to quite a bit of damage soak right there.
Yeah, it was clutch.
64.
And then of course with the barbarian traits and Totem of the Bear, like that was making that temp HP last.
And the apparatus apparently absorbing 100 HP of damage. I mean,
yeah, I didn't realize it had taken so many hits. I do remember the crab taking a couple swipes at me and just like snipping guys around him, and I'm like, I'm gonna die. Like, it's just gonna take one hit. It's gonna blow through everything that I have. So,
when it hit you, it rolled almost minimum damage.
Yeah, I'm glad it did. Like, I walked away with that like bleeding and broken. So yeah, it was fun. It was a fun fight.
Yeah. Well, and then we all ended up trying to get between the soul jelly between us and the crab. So that if it did fight, that would be the biggest target, because we were all like, at the end, I did not have a lot of hit points. It was, I don't remember how many, but it was very low.
And it started very much like, we're gonna kill this soul jelly, and it ended very much with like, save us, soul jelly.
I'm going to use the soul jelly as armor.
Human jelly shield.
So yeah, so we beat it.
Oh my gosh.
You did. It sucked in the apparatus, and Dimble crushed the staff after the damage it had taken. I should say that this boss was on a timer, and their fusion was unstable, and however much HP it had left, it was going to deal in a radius.
Jesus.
Oh,
I'm
no.
glad he solved that then, because that would have sucked.
So I was hoping you would hack away at it and try and kill it. I didn't actually expect you to kill it, but I put the staff in there as a kind of I win. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys thought of that, and he ended up crushing it with the crab.
I feel like that may have been me shouting at the team to attack the staff. I may be misremembering, but I feel like I was very concerned about the staff.
Yeah, somebody definitely yelled it out, and it wasn't me.
Yeah, and it wasn't me. I remember you being concerned about the staff.
Oh,
you beat the final goopy boss. It exploded and got gross everywhere.
Ugh.
The last Kua-toa were in their little pool, and then the dancing badger is out, and Stenel's sword changed.
That is true, and I got that kind of as a private message, but I don't know if Stenel knows it yet.
Yeah, you're attuned to it.
But yeah, the sword is now Frostbrand, and it deals extra ice damage with every hit.
Nice.
And the dancing badger is a part of the Frostbrand?
So Kua-toa God made the dancing badger as just part of what they do. And a moon touch sword would probably look icy or frozen to them as it cuts through and kills everything it comes into contact with. So it was an active imagination. And part of it was I really wanted to give Stenel something that was for him, but I also didn't want to belittle the gift Jewel gave Stenel. So I turned the gift into the item.
That's very cool. And the thought process behind it and the execution of it, I thought were brilliant, if I do say so. I honestly did not understand what was happening until the very, very, very end of it. But it all fits thematically with what was going on. And it kind of came about what seemed like organically. So kudos.
At one point you did say, tell me when I'd start doing extra cold damage.
I may have.
But it was just because you kept saying stuff like your stuff feels really cold, or the sword feels super cold, and I think it was just kind of a haha.
I was concerned that the sword was going to start doing damage to me the longer I used it, and that I would have to not use it.
Yeah,
like the reverse heat metal.
Yeah, I took it from that. Like, tell me when it starts rolling cold damage. I thought that he was thinking like, I'm gonna get hurt with this thing, because you kept describing it gets colder and colder and colder in your hand, and he's
like, my hands are going numb. Yeah,
and I could see the look of panic on Justin's face. So
yeah, I was like, well, I'm about to start taking damage from another direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty great. I don't know if you had anything else to add to that, but just the way you described it was very entertaining. Dancing around and slapping its ass.
Badger. Yeah.
I have a question about the dungeon.
Yes.
The Gooptopus. Was that something that we were supposed to take the bait and try and kill it, or was that something we were supposed to go, oh, it's cute and not, aggressive, let's let it go?
It was just there. They didn't have any purpose other than to bring life to a dungeon and whatever you wanted to do with it.
Okay, so we're not going to, meta-wise, we're not going to face consequences for leaving some kind of, Lumatech proprietary stuff out there swimming around?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, consequences are going to happen.
We told them, though. We told them that we saw that stuff.
I didn't tell them about the Gooptopus. You did. You narked on our friend.
Oh, yeah. You were immediately like, oh, here's the stuff.
I mean, that was our job. They're going to go down there and they're going to figure it out. It's better not to lie about it.
No, I was going to let Gooptopus be free.
I was on the fence. It's probably a bad thing.
Well, that one stuck in my mind as well, where I was like I don't think it's the right thing to do to let it go, but Stenel would think it was the right thing to do to let it live. So
yeah, so you made your way out of the dungeon. You had your final meeting with Santis, and then you had a montage.
montage.
That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that whole thing.
Yeah, I'm glad the characters had a vacation.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
It was a blast. The racing, that was fun.
Yeah.
Very creative.
I wrote a thing for it, and I actually wrote odds for all the characters out beforehand.
That was a blast. Did you know who was going to win, or were you like rolling dice, or how'd that work?
I rolled dice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I rolled
could've been.
as many dice as their odds were, and then the highest number one based on, the lowest number one based on their odds.
Gotcha. I was really rooting for my guys. I was.
Yeah, Laser Bunny almost made it.
Almost. I know. You started describing it. I started getting really excited. And then the rug got pulled out at the last minute.
Just like all of the good betting games, that's how they get you. They hook you in with that rush, that feeling of, oh my gosh.
Was it Stenel who was afterwards like, okay, where's my money? What did I win?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
For not describing the rules ahead of time.
I'm pretty sure I explained how it worked.
I don't think Stenel was listening.
I don't think Singer understands how it works either. So
You put money down and you choose somebody and then they win and you get your money back.
And if they don't win,
You don't get anything. I was totally expecting to lose what I bet, like 5 gold. Yeah, I didn't. It's not like I was going crazy on it.
Yeah, you bet 6 gold. There's 5 on Laser Bunny and 1 on Caster.
Because I thought Caster was cool.
Because you got Tiefling crushes.
A little bit, yeah.
Dental put 87 gold on Laser Bunny.
Yeah, I remember trying to talk him out of it. Like,
you talked him into
not
it.
That much, buddy.
You talked him into it.
I put 50 gold on Laser Bunny.
You did.
Well, how do you not bet on Laser Bunny? Like, it's bunnies and lasers together. Also, wasn't Laser Bunny a halfling?
Yes.
Yeah, Laser Bunny was a halfling, and the odds were like
6 to 1.
Like if she won, ooh.
Yeah, it would have been some money, I guess. But the real reason it was 87 gold was because that brought my current gold to an even number.
Oh.
So yeah, just making it easy.
Yeah. And now you guys are done. So overall impressions with Banthum?
The church though.
Oh, the church.
What did you guys think when I showed back up and did the whole booming voice and the lightning from the sky?
I'm sad that you banned singing.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, same.
They were driving me nuts.
Oh, I wanted to keep singing.
Well, we'll add singing back later, but I had they were driving me nuts.
Singing backup for Zalia.
Like a steering wheel belt buckle.
Okay.
Huh?
It's driving me nuts.
Oh, got it.
All right.
Man, you had to walk us through that joke. Oh, no, I would have spent days in prayer singing back up for Zalia, just sitting in church with everybody going, who, I can't hear anything. Who, Zalia speaks in mysterious ways. Who, can't hear a damn thing.
Oh,
you're a weirdo.
You should just turn them into the Blue Man Group.
I mean, maybe we'll see what happens. But I'm trying to get it to be legitimate, so we're gonna get the proper texts from the proper church up in the mountains, copied and delivered, and get them on the proper path, because they're all just a bunch of yahoos right now.
I think the term is yahoos.
You pronounce it your way, and I'll pronounce it the proper mountain way. Okay.
Banthum impressions.
Potatoes.
I liked the city. I liked all the cool stuff that was going on inside the city. It was really exciting and pretty interesting. New compared to any of the other settings that I've played or been in.
It feels very much like we could spend months and months and months and not uncover everything that's in the city. Like the way you framed it, there's a lot to dig up. And yeah, it's expansive and it's awesome.
Vanessa?
Yeah, Jewel loves Banthum. It was her favorite place to perform. And I really liked seeing what we'd kind of discussed what Banthum was like in the world building like sessions and stuff, and it just was it was nice to see it all come to life, and definitely felt like like you said, a neo-Victorian Japan, Tokyo, neo-Victorian Tokyo, where you're just overwhelmed with bright ads and magic and lights and color and interesting people. I really liked it.
Good. Awesome. I'm glad you guys had fun. And moving forward, I did drop some hints about Bosk, the Dwarven city, and Singer has a couple quests to look forward to.
Yay.
But
Hooks.
with that, I think we should wrap up this total party gossip.
Yeah, it puts us at almost 2 hours, an hour and a half.
Oh, there was a Banthum was big.
Yeah.
It was
Big
a
Banthum.
24 episode story arc.
So remember at the beginning, Jeremy, when you're like, this is probably like a 4 or 8 episode arc?
Yeah, and then I added a second half.
That was fun. It was a good blast.
That was great.
Alrighty.
Well, thanks to everyone who's listened so far. And hopefully you've enjoyed some of this stuff. We've had a blast making it, and we look forward to seeing what the next adventure is.
Yeah, I would say follow us on Twitter. We're probably going to give away a cool Total Party Guild dice box. I think we'll try to plan that around our 1-year anniversary. And follow us on Twitter at Total Party Guild across most of the platforms.
Make sure you follow us on Spotify as well.
Yeah.
Give us all those listens and likes and everything. We need it.
Oh, and review us. Review us.
Because a guild of many defeats more monsters. That's the one.
Hey, remembered.
Yay. Well, until next time.
Party on.
Party on.
Party on.